Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Headbangers Closet. It's your pal Brett here. And if you like death metal and cool death metal albums, you're probably going to like this video. This video is my response to Mark over at Metal Never Dies. He did a killer video called 10 Albums That Scream Death Metal. It was a spin-off video for George G over at George G's Room of Rock. He did a video a few weeks ago, 10 Albums That Scream Heavy Metal. Great idea. I was talking to him just last week, and I was mentioning, such a cool idea to do because us metalheads, right? Everyone in the VC could take that in so many different ways, different spin-offs: thrash metal, death metal, doom metal, power metal, traditional heavy metal, and just go in so many different ways, which I think is just a cool video that he did, cool idea, because it'll just spawn other awesome videos. And one of those awesome videos was Mark. Like I said, he did the 10 albums that scream death metal, and I really wanted to jump on that thread because he's a good buddy of mine, and I always like watching what he does, and I know he's going to dig the albums I choose for this video. So let's get right to it. First album, gotta make this one the first. Bolt Thrower. Album is War Master. Love that Conan the Barbarian artwork right there. I mean, just screams death metal in my opinion. Awesome record, awesome album cover. Next one we got is an album that just came out this year. It will be in my top albums of 2025. Leper Colony, Those of the Morbid. Awesome album cover, just super grotesque and, morbid album cover. Kind of reminds me of, what's that movie? Creepshow, where the kids are swimming on the raft and that thing comes through, I don't know what it is, like that sludge thing comes through the water. It gets on you and dissolves you, and it kind of reminds you of what it did to the first girl that got killed when she was messing with it. Just kind of reminds me of that. Movie scared the crap out of me as a kid because I lived on a lake and we had one of those rafts just off our property, and we always used to get on that thing. Always would swim up there, get on, look around, make sure nothing was coming at me. But that's what it reminds me of. Awesome album, Leper Colony, Those of the Morbid. Check this one out. It's really good stuff. Next album, we have Gruesome's Savage Land. I mean, come on. If this doesn't scream death metal, I don't know what does. Kind of bummed, though. Not this past Friday, but the Friday before, they came to Atlanta. They played at a really small club called the Earl. I really wanted to go, but I got pretty sick on Wednesday. By Friday, I just still wasn't feeling any better. I needed to kind of stay home and relax. So it kind of bums me out. Really like these guys. A lot of people, obviously they sound like death. That's what everybody says, and it is true. I'm not knocking it. Some people call it death ripoff. Some people call it death tribute. I don't care what you call it. I think it's great music. Sounds like death. Kind of helps give you that death fix. And I like the way they go through the albums, and it's kind of follows death's kind of trajectory there with their albums, this way they sound. But great album, Savage Land by Gruesome. So this next one, I guess you could debate whether it's death metal or not. I call it death metal. Maybe it's death thrash. But it's Oxygen Destroyer's latest albums, Guardians of the Universe. Really cool stuff. Every song, every album is about the Godzilla kind of world, the kaiju type stuff. And this one's no different with that giant turtle looking thing. But awesome album, Oxygen Destroyer, Guardians of the Universe. Give it a listen. It's really good heavy death thrash in my opinion. Next one we got is an album that came out a couple years, I think last year. This one is Sentient Horror in Service of the Dead. Really good death metal band from, I think, Philly, that Philadelphia area. Check it out. Really cool stuff with the zombie right there. A lot of subject matter in the tunes. There's a lot of zombie. What's that movie? The redhead girl. There's like 15 of them. Resident Evil. A couple of the songs on this are inspired by the Resident Evil franchise movie. So really cool stuff. Sentient Horror in Service of the Dead. Great death metal album. Great death metal cover. This next one is another great record that came out last year. This is Australia's Cryptcrawler. What's the name of this album? The Immortal Realm. I just really dig that. I mean, it just looks really cool. Looks like what I think a death metal album should look like, which is a cross between something just really scary and then something maybe in a Dungeons and Dragons book. But really cool stuff. Cryptcrawler, Immortal Realm. Really good album. Check this out if you haven't already. They got a new single. I think it just came out last Friday, so give it a listen. Cryptcrawler, really good death metal band. Here's another one of my favorite, not just death metal album covers, just album covers in general. Hyperdontia's, this one's called Harvest of Malevolence. Really cool. With that, that old-timey ship, and just the hordes of demons are kind of coming off of it or whatever. Really cool album cover, really great death metal album cover. Good stuff too. And Mark reviewed this album a while back and called it just good meat and potatoes death metal. And there's not a better description of this album, in my opinion. It's really, really great stuff. Hyperdontia, check them out. Next one is the latest album from Witch Vomit called Funeral Sanctum. Really dig this one. Not one of my favorite records that come out recently. It did make my top, I think it was of 2023 when this thing came out, maybe 2024. But really cool album cover. I really dig that. Again, just like Crypt Crawler, it's kind of spooky, kind of scary, but it has that Dungeons and Dragons, you know, realm type look to it with the castle and like, you know, like the stalactites and shit like that. Really cool stuff. I dig that kind of artwork. Really good looking artwork. Awesome death metal album cover. This next one is a band called Sentenced to Die, Parasitic Infection. This is their album. Came out a couple years ago. Really good. I can't remember if it's Pittsburgh or if it's like Colorado is where these guys are from, but just really good death metal. Kind of in the vein of like a Hyperdontia, maybe a little bit heavier, a little bit more guttural vocals, if you will, but really good stuff. Really dig these guys. Again, you know, good description would be meat and potatoes death metal. But check them out, Sentenced to Die. It is called Parasitic Infection. This was really cool color, like yellow color vinyl. Right? It's pretty cool. And last but certainly not least, I could not do this video without my favorite death metal band. This is Death. This is Leprosy. Could have chosen Scream Bloody Gore, which a lot of people chose. But this one right here kind of just, to me, just kind of screams more death metal. The album cover, Leprosy. And then that cover with the guy with, you know, the leper dude on there. There he is on the back. Before I even got into the band, I just remember seeing this at the record store and being like, dude, that's messed up. It's kind of cool, right? But I love this album, Death, Leprosy, the last of the 10 albums that I think just scream death metal. So what do you guys think about my choices? Leave me a comment below if you don't mind. Love talking about this stuff with you guys. Go check out Mark's channel, Metal Never Dies. Most of you guys that are on my channel and watching this have already watched his video, I'm sure. The same with George over at George's Room of Rock. Check out his video. Really cool stuff. Great ideas. You know, 10 albums that scream heavy metal, 10 albums that scream death metal. So I hope you guys dig it, and I'll have another video for you guys very soon. Cheers, everybody.